he considers valuable in this specific deck.
It's not only that, but Face Hunter has done pretty well in a couple of recent tournaments. Firebat had it in his lineup at the Gfinity event. And Face Hunter is one of those decks that when people are not accounting for it, is when it becomes extremely good. When people are accounting for Face Hunter, it's really not that good of a deck because it's so easy to disrupt. It just requires a couple of, early game cards that really are heavy hitters. Stuff like Mistress of Pain, stuff like Armorsmith. All those cards really matter a lot against Face Hunter. And when those cards are not being played, that's a great time to play Face Hunter.
Well, Reynad here with his Rogue. I think Rogue is the perfect deck for him to start to open with, I guess, because it has an amazing matchup. Well, it has a good matchup against everything else that he's got.
Oh my gosh, this is actually like a little out of flavor. I think I would have liked to see 2 damage taken there, and he also forgot to attack with his dagger and redagger. And the only difference that would have made is if he's just really trying to save damage that much and doesn't want to trigger an explosive trap right away. But he's got a Violet Teacher in his hand.
With the prep Eviscerate, that's going to take care of Misha, and that's going to leave 2 1/1s on the board to tank that possible freezing trap. I don't know if it's explosive. I would be very surprised if it were in this type of Hunter.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you.
Well, we're about to witness an possible... there's so many lines of play that I do like to take here from this Hunter's perspective, but he's got a really nice mid-game. Oh, that's also a really good... top deck here for Reynad.
Yeah, that's about one of the best ones in the deck right now. It is going to open him a little bit to Unleash, but he's still going to have Violet Teacher and Azure Drake that has to be dealt with.
Dude,
He's
actually
going to kill this
trade.
body. Wow, that is very surprising.
You keep the sap for high main. That is exactly where you need it the most. The problem is...
Do you really right now, though? I mean, you have Azure Drake prep sap? I mean, where do you get in a better... I mean, he does want to play around Unleash the Hound, so that's what he's doing with this play.
You can get a better prep with sprint, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of ways to maybe.
Maybe
oh
I'm
man,
too
this
all
is
in.
gonna be.
Maybe I'm too all in. Well, it's not so much of a good Unleash right now, so he's gonna be looking for a more standard turn. But that 1 health Violet Teacher, that's gotta worry a little bit.
Yeah, he's thinking, that might just die right now. But if he does, then he plays something else with a juggler, which means it's not guaranteed to work.
Oh my gosh, he draws
prep
sprint right away.
That is what he wanted to see.
Holding on to the prep is paying off in spades.
But do you actually do that? Because how many 1/1s are you giving him? You're giving 1, 2. You have 2 just for the card draw.
Yeah, I don't think you're too worried about it. I mean, reloading to 9 cards or to 8 cards. I'm sorry, or 7 cards effectively. That Violet Princess is not really a good card right now.
Yeah.
Plus the options. Yeah, they're going to sap right now. I mean, I like sapping. I think when you have Violet Teacher out, you should just be making really big plays and kind of, when your opponent has it, they have it, sort of thing. When they don't have it, though, when they don't have it, they pretty much always lose.
All right, so this is probably going to be a Knife Juggler Unleashed. As boring as it sounds, that should maybe even be able to leave enough hounds on the board to trade into the... Yeah, it does sound boring. It's a very standard play, but it's going to be the most efficient one for sure.
I'm always like, where's this next life going to go? Right there.
Well, so far, he's been putting apples on everyone's head. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, he hits 5 juggles.
The minions.
Reynad just looks miserable, man. I wonder if he's suffering from jet lag from China, because they just got back really recently.
Well, Reynad's not exactly known for being expressively joyful, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I saw him smile during a tournament.
I can't remember the last time I saw him smile during a tournament. Jeez.
Well, that's a juggler.
What a great description. That's the description I want on my tombstone.
Has never smiled in a tournament.
Don't remember the last time he smiled during a tournament. Just poetry.
Yep.
Trump, man. Both these players have a ton of options, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This fight for the board has just begun.
But I think the Hunter has to get that bow out to get that SI7 out of the way. You really, really cannot afford having the opponent get himself a good Tinkers. That is the primary.
I would venture to say because of that holding on to this Lotheb for an extra turn makes a lot of sense. The timing on Lotheb, really makes all the difference in the world. If you nail a Lotheb on a turn when your opponent is they've decided to initiate a race with you, and suddenly they can't use Tinker Sharpsword Oil, it's so much of a difference.
Well,
Pilot Shredder or Sludge Belcher.
I think the Shredder really, because it doesn't cost you an extra coin, it makes a bit of sense, and it trades with the Drake pretty effectively if it does happen to come out. So I like this decision from Trump. I was gonna go for the Sludge Belcher, you know, my gut instinct told me that, but really, are you gonna get bursted down right now? Although it is possible. You've seen 2 preps, however, so there's not gonna be any South Sea deckhand shenanigans that one-shot you.
Oh my gosh. You know, this is exactly one of those turns, though, where he may feel like he has to use Lothab just to keep the board from getting out of control.
Because the thing is, if you play Dr. Boom, you might just die. Like, that's the problem, because you attack into the 3-3 with either your Shredder or your face. If you attack with your face, you're on 17 health against a Lothab and then, like, full durability dagger. I would not feel comfortable with that. Not against the rogues nowadays.
Especially after you've seen a sprint.
Yep. After, like, honestly, after the first sprint, I usually say, well, the rogue probably has lethal in hand 20 times over. So from now on, let me just play as though she had it. Is this a decent... Actually, nah. There's very few things I really want to do in this position. I think Lothab is a safe one. Dr. Boom is probably the play that's going to be able to apply the most counter pressure.
What do you need Owl for in this? Is Van Cleef one of the only, like, significant Owl targets?
I don't dislike it against Blood Mage Thanos as a boring silence, but really there's very few targets in that deck.
Wow, Trump's gonna take a bit of a risk here.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the play that counter pressures as much as possible, and I have to say, now he's putting the rogue in the position of having to have the board clear, and it's not as though Reynad is in any position to really be worried about it.
Yeah, he's just gonna go face. I can't blame him. He's got so much damage.
Yeah.
All right, wait, is this lethal? Oh,
yeah, with the Blood Mage and the Blade Flurry, that's exact lethal.
I didn't see that Blood Mage in his hand.
Yeah,
unless the Boom Huts it for 39! Wow, only 5 this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gonna take this game 1 here, very convincing fashion. That is the power right there of Violet Teacher. That's gonna be Freeze Mage, so ignore all of the analysis we just said. It is completely changed at this point.
Definitely.
And I'm not sure how Paladin faces up against this deck in particular.
Paladin loses.
Mad Scientist
terrible matchup.
Does it just lose?
I would say so, yeah. I don't remember the last time I saw a Pally win against Freeze Mage. But I may be wrong. I mean, wait, I'm lying because somebody won recently, but it's just because the Mage blanked out on just about everything.
Well,
the Pally got the perfect curve.
Lay on Hands can really turn stuff around a lot of times. Like, if you can keep a board position for when Alex Straza hits the board, and then say you have, like, a True Silver set and you can Lay on Hands afterwards, you're looking pretty good shape then. I would agree with you. I think it is kind of rough, but I certainly don't think it's unwinnable.
Well,
Trump,
we'll see as
you can see Trump's face when he saw the loot order. He's like, I kept this Eldor Peacekeeper in my hand.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be Mech Mage.
Yeah,
but
his first draw, was a mind control deck.
All right, so you might as well. I guess you could just ping here, but you could also keep the Chow to recover health later. I find that a bit peculiar, but I mean, Trump would have sacrificed it anyway, right? So you might as well not lose your scientist.
Yeah, I think the bigger story is that he's hunting for value from the Mad Scientist.
Yeah, and pinging the Zombie Chow, because if you play Mad Scientist and Zombie Chow, just gets traded into, and you don't even get health out of it. And now Juggler's gonna have to attack just 1 card off that Acolyte. Not getting more than that.
Yeah, Trump's just gonna go for making sure he's trying to deny as much as possible. You know, something else he could have been keeping in mind with his Mad Scientist is he may have wanted to find Ice Block first to ensure that he gets Ice Barriers off of this. Because I feel like you're probably not going to need 2 Ice Blocks.
Oh my!
But 2 Ice Barriers can give you a lot of leverage.
Reynad is going to say, I bet you don't have Coghammer or Choose Over Champion. And he's right, actually. Trump has neither, and this is a completely blank draw, going to get 0 cards out of that Acolyte of Pain. That can't feel good. Wait, you could use Eldor Peacekeeper on that Doomsayer, right, to get a card draw.
That's actually not that bad of an idea, honestly. You don't really need the Eldor Peacekeeper that bad. Oh, and he gets an Explosive Sheep. That is one of the worst minions. That actually might be the worst minion.
It is the worst.
If you got Doomsayer, it would just trigger at the beginning of his turn. But Explosive Sheep is just going to sit there, and Reynad can just leave it on the board and trigger it whenever he wants to.
Yeah, just ping face. And
yeah, I wouldn't play anything here. Your opponent, they have such a tough time developing the board when they have an Explosive Sheep on the board for no reason. Oh, yeah, you recognize this too. This is awful for Trump. This is literally the worst thing that could have happened.
Okay, so you have to...
He's got to find a way to try to make him pop it. Yeah, I mean, I would play stuff, but it's... And I can tell you he probably really wanted to play 2/3/3s that turn. So, just going to go into his turn. Yeah, ping off the sheep, not really a big problem there. Something that's pretty obvious. Then, of course, reload the board with your mad scientist in your order. Easy stuff. And, of course, Trump. Gosh, he's getting such brutal draws, man. The piloted shredder was really like the biggest one. So tough. Oh, this knife juggler hit. No! So he picks that one up. Noxious has disconnected for the moment, so he'll be back as soon as he's done handling his technical issues. So for the time being, let's enjoy this freeze mage match. Not too much thought to this turn, just flame strike. Good enough, but Trump's gonna put his faith in the light. Hopefully it's gonna be enough for him. I mean, Reynad's got more than enough answers for this, though. He's got sitting under an ice block. He has basically all the burn in the world in his hand. I mean, what more could you want? Even a golden Alexstrasza. Golden Alexstrasza is beautiful, you know that? And you're beautiful too. If you're having a down day, just remember, Christina Aguilera thinks that you're beautiful. And so do I. I think Reynad's just trying to find the way to play optimally here. I don't think his plays matter too terribly much. Again, with Alexstrasza and just the amount of burn that he has, I think he feels comfortable. Would like to see a fireball, though. I think it's the addition he would like to see. Wow. Trump picks up a lay on hands, though. This could really begin to change stuff. You know, Muster for Battle can also burn a card. I mean, Trump could, in theory, burn 2 cards here. If he wanted to. But one of the big problems with that, though, is he has to find a way to actually kill Reynad at some point in this game. So this next attack is really going to tell you a big story. Alright, so he's going to choose to burn 1 card. And then favor the extra 6 damage. I think that 6 damage is probably worth more than burning a card. I mean, he still does have to kill him at some point, and that is probably not the card he wanted to see. The card he wanted to see is actually sitting in Reynad's hand right now. It's Alexstrasza. And once again, Reynad feels like he has a turn where not a ton of consequence going on. And I would tend to think he's going to Blizzard here. For the sake of mana. So now that he's picked up the Fireball, I'm pretty sure he has every card in his hand he could possibly want. But Reynad does have... I'm sorry, but Trump does have a lot of heals in his hand. Between Lay on Hands and Antique Healbot, he might be able to sustain through this kind of damage. Not able to Lay on Hands this turn again. He needs to save it for post Alexstrasza. He's certainly going to think about it, though.
All right.
Hey, Noxious.
Apologies, I had a little bit of a problem there with my connection.
Welcome back.
I missed the entire game, didn't I?
No, this game has actually still got a lot of play going into it. It's freeze mage, thankfully for you.
Yeah.
So Reynad's done a really good job at finding, you know, just digging into his deck, making sure he's not losing too much. And Trump has been very patient with holding on to this Lay on Hands for the heal effect. It's so important. Reynad did get a card burn at some point, but obviously the burn he's looking for is Alexstrasza, and didn't quite get it. So this is really a big turn for Trump right now. So he gets to Aldor Peacekeeper, is Alex Straza. It's basically neutered. He gets
so wow. Reynad could actually get punished here. He's gonna have to try to get maximum value out of that Archmage Antonidas. It's gonna be an Archmage possible Icelands.
He certainly could be a little bit in trouble, but Trump has to find a way to actually pressure him too.
So Archmage Frostnova is gonna win the game.
Is that just gonna be it?
That's usually the yeah. I mean the ice block's not been popped, so Archmage and Frostnova is an exceptionally strong card because I mean play.
Oh, I mean there might be like a keys mystic or something in here. I don't think it's out of the question completely. I don't think it's very likely, but
there might be, yeah. Well, we'll see what I mean. He does go for Blood Mage.
I think I would tend to take my time here too. Again, you're just not under threat of your ice block getting popped, and now that your opponent's healed up, and he still has so much burn in his hand, he basically just has to restabilize the board position.
Yeah, the Archmage is going to be the game-winning card. He's got so much burn with that Archmage. It's going to be so easy for him to fish for these fireballs. I mean, Trump could find equality and deal with the Archmage, but besides that.
This is just tough stuff.
Yeah, it's always a. Well, I mean, for Reynad, I think he's got so many lines of play. He's just trying to pick up the optimal one. From Trump's perspective, on the other hand, it's looking pretty bleak. Well, he might have teched this. Oh no! Wow, he's just gonna go for the Frostbolt Icelands on Trump's face, and I can't blame him.
This is totally reasonable too. I mean, the second Icelands really does a good job at locking this.
Yeah, putting the opponent on 1 health with Alex Straza. If he pops the block, then so be it. How exactly is he supposed to heal by 10? It's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know what 2 mana heal cards. You know, I think Paladins need a 1 mana version of Ice Block. That's what I think. Just Divine Shield.
Did I tell you about the card that I designed with a friend of mine? It was whenever you get below 10 health, you become immune for the rest of the turn.
Just below 10 health, so not lethal, or just below 10.
Yeah, they hit you with 10, and you just like it's 1 turn immune. Just below 10 though, you can't get like lethaled out, and so if they one shot you, you're effectively still dead.
What if you're at 9?
Yeah, it pops. Yeah.
You just play it and it pops on their turn?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. They have to deal damage to you. It's whenever an opponent deals damage to you.
Oh, and you're at 10 or less health. Reynad gonna pick up this second game. Freeze Mage.
Came out just in time.
Crushing this game. He drew all the cards.
Yep.
Kept himself from taking
zombie chows that allows you to contest those early armor smiths if they do come out, but you are very vulnerable to Fiery Wind Axe.
You know, you are gonna be, but Zombie Chow's really not one of those cards that I don't mind in this matchup that much, because if it's unchecked, like say they don't draw a Fiery War Axe, it does such a good job at keeping their armor in check. And it's not a vital card to your winning strategy, so drawing it on turn 1 is like it's like an added bonus, but it's not the worst thing. But it's not like vital, again, to winning. Wow, Trump has got a turn 2 Ancient of Lore possibility here.
Would you take it with the possibility of... I mean, I guess...
Yeah, I certainly would.
Why not?
I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, we talked about the Ragnaros.
But it would die, though, in this case, right? It just gets, like, armor up, shield slam, and you lose it.
I mean, it deals your opponent 5 damage. Drawing the Wild Growth definitely changes the way this pans out.
Yeah.
It's going to buy him an innervate effectively. Yep. So, wow, second Fiery War Axe. That's a bad draw for Reynad right now. The first Fiery War Axe is usually really, really good, and then the second one diminishes a lot in value.
Well, that Wild Growth is going to make him curve like no tomorrow. But getting to keep that second innervate is really important, because you might be wanting to go for super big burst later on in the game. That might require you to get that extra Savage Roar. Oh wow, gosh. Turn 5 Dr. Boom.
This is getting so brutal. So yeah, I'm just going to Shield Slam, take this out, and then Acolyte's a nice draw to fill out your curve. He does have Brawl in the Dr. Boom turn, though. Like, this isn't looking too bad.
Yeah, but Trump's got to feel pretty confident going into this, like with that Dr. Boom play. Then again, you could argue that it's not necessary. I just feel like it's such a strong tempo play. You just don't want to be playing into BGH, especially with the Acolyte of Pain, right? It's killing the Boom bots. And then, if he has a BGH, you're pretty screwed.
This is actually a really interesting play, because this is going to prompt a weapon from your opponent so often. And I think Trump is a little sad to see that it's not a Death Spite. But I think he'll be happy to see it's not a Death Spite after this Acolyte of Pain hits the board. Because he's got Harrison Jones for this weapon. You know, he saved this innervate, so he does have potential to make bigger plays towards the end of the game. That's a trade-off for it. And I actually, there is some risk to playing Dr. Boom on turn 5. Like if the warrior player has, whoa, hang on a second.
He wants to deny the Death's Bite value later on for the Grom Hellscream OTK, essentially. Oh, Harrison Jones in... Oh, Sylvanas.
Yeah,
Counter Sylvanas.
He just goes for face?
I mean, Reynad's going to be taking whatever he gets back, but now that Sylvanas is going to get silenced, so this is pretty much perfect for Trump. He gets the Acolyte of Pain, he gets the
because the Sylvanas came down second. My apologies.
Reynad's going to lose this.
It's been a long day of casting so far. So yeah.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah. So silence is very important there. The death rattles trigger in the order they entered play.
And so down goes the weapon after all. Trump decides to make the Harrison Jones call, and that puts Reynad in the position of having to brawl almost. Oh,
Gorehowl could really change the not holding on to the Harrison Jones may have cost him a little bit here. But I think he's going to be okay with forcing Reynad to trade life total for cards at this point.
Wait, that's 5-18. You drew the Claw, Savage Roar. That's 3-7.
Oh my gosh, that's 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's
plus
15 damage. Yeah, swipe kills you.
Yeah, with that swipe in my hand, and now he's trying to keep it the Grove, I think you go for it. Yeah, I think that's absolutely the best play. I mean, like if your opponent just armors up a ton, you have all the stuff in the world to fight back from it.
And Trump is playing for value still, not going.
Well,
I can't blame him. It's still a really strong position. I mean,
it
if the
definitely is a really
explode,
strong position. Brawl also has not been in every single warrior build lately, and your opponent doesn't have like a super easy answer to this visible. Oh my gosh, this could be so tense.
Iron Juggernaut.
Oh my god, one of the boom bots wins, and I think that's one of the worst scenarios for Trump. At the end, just so much damage being dealt. Second boom bot only does one though. Yeah, Iron Juggernaut. What the heck is going on? And he's got Whirlwind. He's got like both cards that basically, if someone would have asked me, are these in Reynad's deck, I would have said no. But this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about too. Tempo Storm they changed their deck so much. Like these small little changes. They're not like significant changes to the overall archetype. They're just little additions that a lot of people have considered phased out, and that they're putting back into the decks to give themselves an edge in I'm not always certain what kind of spots. This is the kind of stuff you have to watch it happen a couple times before you really get a great sense of what's going on in here. But it's going to fight muster for battle well. That coupled with an execute does an okay job at fighting Dr. Boom. There's just ways around stuff, frankly.
So Trump decides to go for the Drill Claw and charge. I'm surprised he didn't go for it last turn, since it was possibly even better than it was this turn, right?
2 whirlwinds.
Yeah, I mean, he's still alive at the end of this, unless I'm mistaken. Swipe Savage Roar. Yeah, he is alive.
Yep.
He very much
has
lives.
2 draws though. He's 1 draw here for Force of Nature, Savage Roar, or Swipe, and the Wild Growth. The Wild Growth would give him 1 draw for Savage Roar, or I'm sorry, for Swipe at that point.
Yep.
So to see him draw 2 cards here, not a surprise at all. And then Shade obviously is very excellent.
Double Whirlwind for that Shade.
Like of all the things I would expect, or Baron Geddon, but Baron Geddon's gonna take away some of his life. His life total is something he has to be like majorly concerned about right now.
He has to trade Grom away here. If he doesn't, he's dead. He has to go double Whirlwind and drop Iron Juggernaut armor up and trade that Grom away into the Ancient of Lore. Otherwise, if he attacks it with Gorehowl, the game is over. I mean, he's not even like it's. Yeah. How do you recover? A swipe kills you essentially at that point. Especially when
your opponent's been holding on to 3 cards. So it's like, I feel like at this point it's really likely for Trump to have like 2 copies of Savage Roar, or like 2 copies of or like a copy of Force of Nature, and like a Wild Growth, like maybe Wrath or something.
Yep.
But 2 copies of Savage Roar is definitely in that range. So I think trading is 100% his better option. And again, he can't afford to play the Baron Geddon in the same vein. He can't deal himself damage.
Well, I guess Reynad's hoping for that Alex Strauza to come out. Definitely hoping for that Alex Strauza.
Have you ever played this and just have them, they just draw it the next turn? Oh my gosh! My God. Golden Burrowing Mine looks a lot better too, I have to say.
So, wow, that's actually putting... No, it's not really helping out.
Just Pyroblasts and gets a 6/5 out of it. Not a big deal.
Oh wait, that is close. I mean, if you swipe damage. Now, that's it's getting near there. You have to double Wrath for card draw, I think.
Well, he's gonna use the first Wrath and find out what he gets. That much is for sure.
Yeah, I think whatever happens, I'm double Wrathing for card draw at the end of this, unless I find. Oh well, yeah, definitely.
Now you might consider swiping this Iron Juggernaut, but I don't really know what actually can kill him at this point because he's seen Grom. Like, what card actually kills Trump in this position?
Nothing kills him, but Alex Straza on Reynad would really be excruciating for Trump. Because he has to go through Alex after that point.
Yeah, he is going to think about stuff like Shield Maiden and Shield Block, though, so that may encourage him to swipe in Hero Power this turn.
I would swipe Hero Power face, even. Unless you expect your opponent to play Defender of Argus, and even then.
He's out of Innervates, too. I mean, this does hedge around Defender of Argus, and you saw 2 Whirlwinds at this point, so, you know, I think Defender of Argus is probably a little bit more reasonable to play around, because this still plays around Shield Maiden, I believe.
Yeah, it does. I mean, he's only going to be... Well, he's going to be at 15 health.
No, he's going to go to 15 afterwards. But just doesn't have it.
No help for Reynad here. He will go down to the Might of the Druid, and as I said, you know, Trump's lineup is especially strong against Reynad's Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I don't think Reynad's really too concerned about losing this game. This is the game that he expects to lose, I think, out of all this lineup. So Trump, you know, getting a point on the board, always good. As you've been kind of mentioning this whole time, tiebreakers are important for this league. This is a 10-week league, so a lot of matches have to be played, so still a lot of room for what's going on here. And Trump, man, got a point on the board. He's got to feel good about it now. And Paladin, like you said, Paladin, I think, is going to line up.
Dismantle was a rogue spell in WoW that removed weapons, so...
Yeah, I should have saved that one. I started to say it, and I was like, and as soon as I started to say it, I was like, man, I should just save this one. But it's so good.
Yeah, you have to save it for like that particular time.
Like, I just, you know, I was already in the mid-sentence, and I was like, I'm just going to have to stutter on my own words like I always do anyway.
All right, well, this hand for Trump is actually not looking too bad. That creeper start is pretty good. The thing is, I mean, Reynad's warrior hand is also very well equipped to deal with those 1/1s.
Yeah, Deathbite is definitely one of the better cards against Haunted Creepers, especially if both of them come out before the Deathbite does.
Yeah. Do you think Trump will make that?
Oh, yeah, I think he's trying to get removal, I think, out of his hand, and then keep the pressure up from there.
Oh man, this is going to be devastating, though.
I wouldn't have minded to see Hero Power that turn and then play next turn another Hero Power and another Haunted Creeper, because you actually get more damage that way.
Exactly, maybe because you could have weaved in the extra 2 damage and guaranteed that your 2 creepers won't be going down.
Yeah, one of your Haunted Creepers would actually may come down after this Deathbite too, because I still think he's really likely to. Oh, that's a really great pickup though. Like if there's a draw in the deck, that is... Whoa. So he's going to play both of these?
You know what? That makes the Cruel Taskmaster a godlike play for Reynad, and I don't like that. Oh my goodness, that double... This is the perfect moment for Reynad.
Yeah,
Reynad's turn is godlike. It's not even...
I could not have gone... Pilot Shredder, I think, by the way, is probably Trump's best draw there. Oh my gosh. I mean, this hand is dismantling. Let's go look at Reynad.
No, man, Reynad is just laughing. He's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you what I got.
Could my life be going any better in this game?
I mean, no, I don't think you Cruel Task first, dude.
No. You attack the Haunted Creeper. It came down before your Deathbite, so the Death Rattle is going to trigger. He gets a Mad Scientist, and okay, he sees it. I was like, whoa, hang on.
I think the thought process was I would take less damage from the knives, but really at this point, is that your biggest worry? I mean, you're getting so much value, you're getting the board back. Cruel Taskmaster is going to get Freezing Trap. Do you really care?
My gosh.
And if a bow comes out, you're dancing.
He's got a Harrison for it, and Trump doesn't even have a 5-drop. This is, I think, the worst possible scenario that Trump could have fallen into.
Yep. What is a 5-drop and how do I draw it? However, his turns 6 and 7 are pretty amazing. I mean, I have to look at this, and I have to say, Reynad's transition, if he doesn't find something like a good 5-drop, is going to be a little on the weird side.
Well, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. He still gets to pick off both of these dogs.
Yep. They'll probably develop that. Oh, you just play Cruel Task. Do you replay Cruel Task, or do you play the Death's Bite to set up for high main removal?
You know, that's a good question. And I think that something like Sludge Belcher and Lothab are definitely on his mind right now.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to take his time this turn. He's got all the time in the world. You know, there's a very, very small chance he's even considering Harrison Jones just to get enough stuff on the board that he can actually handle what's happening.
Well, he does consider it, and he does it, actually. He
hasn't seen a bow at this point. This actually makes a lot of sense. He hasn't seen a bow at this point.
It would have come out.
You know, holding on to the Harrison Jones instead of, and not playing a 5-drop is basically saying to your opponent, I expect you to draw a weapon, and I'm going to get significant value from Harrison Jones, which I just don't think is going to happen this game.
So the high main gets contested directly by Harrison Jones, which is exactly what Reynad wants, and he drops a 5/5 plus 5 health on it.
Yeah,
so,
Dr. Boom could be a bit of a problem, though.
Gorhal, ladies and gents.
Yeah, Trump just going to continue to push for face damage here.
And this is the way to win in this position, I think. If BGH is not top decked.
Yeah, just go for it. Well...
Counter boom. Can you really afford counter booming, though?
I don't know. I think you have to be really afraid of something like Kill Command.
Command. Yeah.
And you have to be really afraid of the
so cruel to ask your own shield maiden to kill that Dr. Boom and then armor up, but that's such a slow play. Oh man, you have to play
go
for
his own. Gosh, I would have liked to see him take a lot more time because this is a tough turn.
7, 8, 9. Wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
It's 18 damage.
With Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah, with Unleash the Hounds, it's lethal.
I do not believe this. Trump just got the win.
1921. Yeah, Trump just won.
That's what we call a top deck.
Yeah. It's exactly what we call it. This is what I would typically call a huge draw. But I was just so stunned by it. I really didn't believe it was going to happen, guys. I just didn't believe. You know, he could have still won with the Animal Companion if he'd have rolled Leok on this.
Huffer or Leok. Either of those would have been lethal. So I guess Kill Command changed something, but ultimately
Kill Command made it easy, is what Kill Command. It made us me hunter, me am smart. Is sort of what it is. But real talk. Trump really, when he figured out he needed to turn on the heat, that's exactly what he did. He stopped trying to trade. He realized he wasn't going to win the value game and just started pressing for face. And Reynad, this is
the reverse sweeps are the most intense matches ever, and that double shielded mini bot start for Trump is disgustingly strong because Fiery Winaxe doesn't win. This is like the only minion that really makes Fiery Winaxe struggle, essentially, right? Because it deals like 6. That shield mini bot deals 6 damage.
Yep.
Whirlwind
Whirlwind, by the way, also is like sort of a a giveaway that Execute's going to be in this build. If you're playing Whirlwinds, Execute is an excellent card to go with it. And some of the versions that are out there right now, one of them that's exceptionally popular right now is that Zalay played, and sort of really made a mark for himself. He did well at the ESL event, and he had Brawling Berserkers in his Warrior deck, which we haven't seen since, I don't know, like 2009.
Yeah.
Basically, it was super early in Hearthstone. You saw a lot of Brawling
in 2009, I think that's pretty much when it was played the most.
Yeah.
In the internal alpha, like 0.1.
That's an actual date, by the way. You can quote me on that as well.
Yeah. I just remember there was this thread on Reddit which happened like 2 days ago, and they said, what were we the most wrong about when GVG came out? And I said, I thought Warriors would cut Executes and go for more tempo play. And that's something that I thought I was very wrong about. And it's true that it's something I fully expected, but it didn't really pan out too much. And I suspect Warriors are going to go back to that Execute build very soon. It's one of those things where once people figure out that there's none, they're not going to play around it, and suddenly they don't really care much about it. It's kind of like the Mech Shaman. The rise of the Mech Shaman was largely due to the fact that nobody expected it.
Really thinking about popping this shield here. I don't blame him.
Yeah. It sets up a nice Cruel Taskmaster, if anything. You can buff up that 1-2, get an extra armor, and get yourself a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, making sure he's not losing too many trades here.
Man, imagine if there were a Cog Hammer here. That would be crazy. Yeah,
I like Cog Hammer, actually. The reason I don't like Cog Hammer is because of cards like Harrison Jones. Like, if Harrison Jones didn't exist, I think Cog Hammer would be so good. This is actually really smart, too. I think a lot of people here would have traded with the Armor Smith and just dropped the other shielded mini-bot. But Trump is getting that little bit of extra value. Again, using his life total as a resource. And waiting time. Oh my gosh. Those are 3 really good draws in a row when you're concerned about longevity. Is Black Knight, Tyrion, and Harrison Jones. I want to go back. Playing the shielded minibot last turn, this is actually like a really good play from Trump. He made sure that his 1-1 was going to contest the 3-1 Armor Smith, and then this turn has
perfect curve.
The token, and the shielded minibot. So not only does he get an extra shielded minibot out of this, but he doesn't really lose anything in the process. Now, that being said, Reynad is somewhere at about 43 life potentially next turn. So I'm not sure that Trump's going to kill him anytime soon. He's really going to have to get a lot of repetitive damage from minions to be able to win this game.
Reynad's going to take out those 1-1s before they become a bit too big for his liking with a Quartermaster.
Yep, but I can tell you what, that Death Pipe may belong in a museum this turn. He did see Gorehowl, though, so maybe he wants to hang on to it. I would doubt it. I mean, just is there
Gorehal is the
turns you
best
don't?
way.
I mean, you need a minion on the board. You need something
Yeah.
to contest them. You don't want your opponent to just like jam Sylvanas on the board, and then you're like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? I just got
what have I
dealt
done?
1 million damage. Sludge Belcher. Did we see Sludge Belcher from Reynad?
I have not seen one that I can recall, but maybe he's. I don't know what he cut for Iron Juggernaut. I'm thinking about his lineup. I saw 2 Shield Maidens. So far, I've seen 1 or 2 Shield Blocks. So where the cut was made for Iron Juggernaut, that might be in the Belcher area, but we'll have to figure it out as we go along. And we're now transitioning to the late game, and I feel like Reynad's hand contains pretty much every threat there is.
Yeah, I think you might see the obnoxious macro. Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, he downloaded it too.
Configuration detected. Positive. Play Dr. Boom. That's about it. What does Trump do? I mean, I guess you have to neutralize a Dr. Boom ASAP.
Yeah.
It doesn't really.
I was gonna say, well, he's one really, really good one.
Yeah.
Against the Dr. Boom.
With that True Silver champion, especially. Actually, that True Silver is pretty much the MVP draw here. It makes the clearing Boom actually doable, as opposed to being the pipe dream.
Well, he might not feel too pressured to clear the Dr. Boom, and instead he might go for the Boombots here. No, he's gonna go for Dr. Boom. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the Boombots just yet. He says, hey, you can have your rollout. You gotta attack my Sludge Belcher with them anyway. Have fun.
This might be a decent Baron Geddon turn. Well, yes and no. I mean,
it's a lot of Boombottage.
Yeah, you have to hope for the Boombot to do what they have to. So if you attack it into Belcher, I mean, if it hits the Aldo Peacekeeper, then Baron Geddon is suddenly a lot better.
Well, let's take into account things he's got to think about. So obviously he's considering something like Big Game Hunter, although I don't think he necessarily believes it's in hand. It was really easy to deal with Dr. Boom because of the True Silver Champion, and the Aldor Peacekeeper, so I don't think he's discounted it entirely, but certainly weighted towards it not being there, I think.
Yeah.
Second thing he's got to worry about is he's got to worry about equality, so he doesn't want to overcommit to the board. He might be thinking about something like Iron Beagle in here, so Sylvanas isn't a clean play. And Grommash is kind of one of those cards that you really never want to give away. It's like
if you give Grom away, you give your win condition most of the time. And I mean, Iron Juggernaut is cool, but unless you're running Brewmasters in here, which, you know, maybe he is, that's not going to be happening.
He does still have Alex Strauza, though. So I mean, this is 15 damage, and again, he has the Iron Juggernaut, so I'm assuming the Iron Juggernaut is for helping him win the long game. I mean, it's obviously not there to help him, like, take the board early and wipe him out on turn 6 or whatever. Bad move on the second one. But
actually, this is really...
Yeah, there's no clean way to kill this guy.
Oh, we have to take 10?
Well, we don't have to. We could slam the Tyrion.
Right. But what if he... Yeah, he wouldn't take that gamble of Alex Strauza shield slam. I mean, Sylvanas shield slamming his own Sylvanas on this board. Because he might take a 3-3 if you slam Tyrion down, so... That's a 50-50 play, and you can't pin your opponent on shield slam Sylvanas, really. Like, it seems like an unusual line of play.
I think he's considering
it, be on there.
But it's definitely a hard one. I think something else he's thinking about is Whirlwinds being in here. Like, Whirlwind shield slam is like it's probably one of the worst things that could actually happen to you. And he's also going to think about I mean, he saw Harrison Jones too. So the worst sequence I think that I can imagine right now is like Whirlwind shield slam Harrison Jones.
Alternatively, like, you just trade your weapon and then use Healbot and Acolyte of Pain. I mean, you're going to be back with Lay on Hands anyway, right? Your health will go up.
He could do that.
Worried about losing it.
I definitely don't think that it's like a weak play by any means.
Yeah, I don't really see any other play that I like in this position.
Taking 10 hurts, but you know, Grom's usually going to deal 10 anyway, so just happy to make sure that the 10 isn't dealt this turn.
And he does slam the Tyrion, man. If Reynad finds that shield slam, this is game.
Oh my gosh, this is such a potentially big draw right now. All right, he doesn't get it. But Sylvanas is still pretty darn good.
Yeah, if Trump actually blanks out on that.
You can see him. He's like so crushed over the fact that his opponent is playing this Sylvanas right away.
Well, you lay on hands into Iron BKL, right? Easy life.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think there's merit to just loading up the board.
What do you feed him?
I mean, I think you just play Acolyte, make a token, and...
So, anti-kill bot, Acolyte of Pain, 1-1, and then hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
If Reynad top decks a Whirlwind, that will wipe out everything, and then Sylvanas will be damaged.
Yeah, I think you actually might push for face damage too, because he obviously didn't have Shield Slam, so he does have to draw a Shield Slam. So to wipe out all that armor before something like that happens, I think could be pretty important. But he doesn't even really need a Shield Slam anymore. He just wow, Trump is making sure that it's going to attack, and it takes the worst minion possible.
Reynad can't feel good about that. He gets the Harrison Jones for the Ashbringer, though, a crucial draw going into this.
But he can't kill the. He doesn't even got. Okay, Ysera is a little different. I haven't seen Ysera in one of these decks. Again, sort of going back to about 2009.
Yeah, it's been so long. But she is so strong when she's not answered, and right now, Trump doesn't have a good way to enable it, and Reynad doesn't even attack into. Wait, he does. I was gonna say he doesn't attack Reynad, because if he does, then he enables Tyrion to sacrifice itself into Ysera, and you really don't want to do that unless you force the Ashbringer from your opponent to get that Harrison Jones maximum value.
I mean, I think it's what he's trying to do. He wants to get. But Trump's got, he's got Eldor Peacekeeper. He wants that Tyrion around. He understands its value.
It doesn't matter, man. Reynad's gonna go for that Ysera Awakens and laugh. And this is not even funny. Poor Trump's Ashbringer. You will be missed.
I think you got equality.
Yeah, you can't let Ysera draw more cards. This makes no sense. It's suicide.
It really is. Like, if Ysera starts drawing cards in a control matchup, the player drawing cards with Ysera usually has a gigantic advantage.
He just wins, yeah.
Where did he fit all this in? This is really interesting, because now we've seen Harrison
We didn't
Jones.
see Sludge.
We haven't seen Sludge Belcher yet.
Exactly.
He may have cut Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, and he's playing Iron Juggernaut and Ysera, as opposed to those. That's a pretty decent Ysera Awakens Harrison Jones turn, but yeah, you're even getting some health back, because why not? That one health he'd lose.
I was like, well, not the most amount of health loss. Oh, look at Shield Slam, just right on time, right?
So the question is, do you like Ysera Awakens, or do you keep it for that muster for battle and just play Baron Geddon here?
Gosh, I don't think
Geddon is tempting.
It's tempting to me, but I would jam Ysera Awakens and then jam Harrison Jones. Like I'm not seeing an opportunity to get more
bad about this.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I'm getting this Ashbringer, and then wait, I'm not.
Yep. 3 cards gonna get picked up for him now. Execute.
These are crazy draws.
He really needs to draw more cards right now, so that Acolyte's a really big pickup.
Yeah. Oh wow. Knife Juggler, not what he wants to see, and that Black Knight is a dead card.
Still no muster for battle. It's actually funny, because in this matchup is probably one of the reasons that Black Knight's in his deck is to target Sludge Belchers in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, it's the only way, unless you're playing, spare parts to enable with a Rusty Horn. I can't really see how Reynad's gonna have a taunt minion. In before Hogger. I mean Honker, sorry. I misnamed him. Muster for battle and Consecration. And he's gonna throw out that Knife Juggler to the Fiery Wind Axe, or some other such thing, I don't know.
He's at 30, so I'm gonna...
Oh, he's just gonna go for the Alex play, and
I was like, well, he's at 30, so I'm gonna guess he's gonna go for Alex Strauss and push for damage.
Punch the face, and if Muster's played. Oh, there's no equality now.
It's like there's no equality. He does have Big Game Hunter though.
BGH. Yeah, I like the BGH Muster. Like, you could go BGH Muster, and you could go Knife Juggler BGH Muster.
If he goes Knife Juggler BGH Muster for battle,
yeah.
And then make a token.
Infinite cards. Yeah.
He's going to give his opponent a lot. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, he's got 9 cards in hand. If you make him pull up 10 cards, you could potentially burn something else that's important. But the bigger one here is there is a gamble. There is a gamble involved with this line of play. But when he's at 9 and he's facing down this kind of board position, he may just be okay with that.
Yeah, I think you have to go for the Knife Juggler play, because you can always trade your first one away into the Harrison Jones once it takes at least 1 knife hit, right?
After their Big Game Hunter and then Consecrate, I don't think it's very good.
Not really.
Yeah, I think he's got to go for it.
If you want to live, this is pretty much your only hope, so the beast is in the sights.
He also needs to find out which one of these minions he can actually attack.
Yeah, and it's going to take forever with that rope.
Yep.
Uh-oh, is that going to be another rope post?
Oh, jeez.
I think he's going to have to attack with the Knife Juggler right now.
Yeah, he needs to hover the animations and see which one he can attack.
Do it, Trump. Oh my god. Did you leave him? Okay, he attacks the Harrison with the Knife Juggler and attacks the Acolyte.
He figured out a lot of actions here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really had any good news.
I hope he didn't attack that with his weapon.
Gosh.
All right, he got everything down perfectly, but now if Iron Juggernaut is played, this could be GG.
Iron Juggernaut is.
Oh
really,
no!
I mean, all these cards in Reynad's hand are really scary right now.
Yeah, this is very easy.
Iron Juggernaut.
Wait,
is he worried about dying at all? So 3, 7 plus. If he played Quartermaster, that would
just
be.
Just play Baron Geddon and
12?
Armorsmith.
Yeah, I'm curious. He's looking like, can I actually just kill my opponent next turn? The answer is yes, because he's got Fiery War Axe.
Oh, he's got everything he needs. I mean, I almost want him to go for the swaggy Iron Juggernaut kill, but you know, why risk your tournament life on a funny play?
Yep. You know what's funny here is had he gone for like Deathspite Iron Juggernaut, I think Trump actually might have killed him. No, he doesn't have space for the minions.
Yeah, there's no room for the Quartermaster.
Yeah, Trump has been bested in this one. This warrior deck is so well equipped to dismantle control.
I am absolutely surprised here because the lineup that Reynad had to deal with his warrior was incredibly tough, but he will ultimately take it. And I mean, he's essentially getting the first win in this entire